Welcome to our journey back in time to the remarkable year of 1906, a year that stood at the crossroads of tradition and modernity, witnessing events that would shape the course of the 20th century. This is part 7 of a 100-part series detailing every year of the 20th century. From groundbreaking technological advancements to pivotal political movements, 1906 was a year of significant transformations around the globe. January 12th marked the beginning of the Persian Constitutional Revolution. A coalition of merchants, religious leaders and intellectuals in Persia, modern-day Iran, compelled Shah Mozaffar ad-Din Shah Qajar to grant a constitution and establish a national assembly known as the Majlis. This was a monumental step towards democracy in the Middle East, setting a precedent for future constitutional movements in the region. Meanwhile, tensions in Europe were escalating. From January 16th to April 7th, the Algeciras Conference convened in Spain to resolve the first Moroccan crisis between France and Germany. This conference was crucial in maintaining a fragile peace, but it also highlighted the deepening rivalries that would eventually lead to World War I. In the realm of naval warfare, February 7th saw the launch of HMS Dreadnought by Britain. This battleship was revolutionary, featuring unprecedented speed and firepower. Its launch initiated a naval arms race, particularly between Britain and Germany, significantly influencing naval strategies leading up to World War I. On March 4th, the United States took a controversial step by terminating Native American tribal governments in Indian Territory, a prerequisite for creating the state of Oklahoma in 1907. This action further eroded the sovereignty of Native American tribes and had lasting impacts on their self-governance. The industrial world faced a catastrophe on March 10th with the Courrières mine disaster in France. An explosion killed 1,060 miners, making it one of the deadliest mining accidents ever. This tragedy brought international attention to workers' safety and labor rights, fueling movements for better working conditions. In aviation, March 18th marked a significant attempt by Romanian inventor Traian Vuia, who achieved an unassisted takeoff in a heavier-than-air powered monoplane. Although the flight was short and not sustained, it was a step forward in the quest for powered flight, inspiring other pioneers like the Wright brothers. April 14th saw the beginning of the Azusa Street Revival in Los Angeles, led by William J. Seymour. This event became the cornerstone of the Pentecostal movement, influencing millions worldwide and leading to the growth of Pentecostalism as a major Christian denomination. Perhaps the most infamous event of the year occurred on April 18th, the San Francisco earthquake. With an estimated magnitude of 7.8, the quake and the subsequent fires devastated the city. Over 3,000 people lost their lives, and more than 200,000 were left homeless. The disaster prompted advancements in earthquake engineering and urban planning, reshaping San Francisco's infrastructure. On the same day, a company named the Haloid Photographic Company was founded in Rochester, New York. This company would later become known as Xerox, revolutionizing office technology with the invention of the photocopier. In Russia, April 23rd saw the announcement of the Fundamental Laws, which served as a constitution, albeit maintaining the Tsar's autocratic powers. This was part of the Russian government's response to the 1905 revolution, attempting to quell unrest, but ultimately failing to prevent the larger upheavals that would come in 1917. Moving into May, the Culion leper colony in the Philippines received its first patients on May 27th. Established by the American colonial government, it became one of the world's largest leprosy settlements, reflecting the era's public health approaches and colonial policies. Music history was made on the same day when composer Gustav Mahler premiered his Symphony No. 6 in Germany. The work is renowned for its emotional depth and complexity, contributing significantly to classical music's evolution. Swedish politics took a turn on May 29th when Prime Minister Karl Staaff resigned over the issue of expanded voting rights. He was succeeded by Arvid Lindman, a conservative naval officer. This change highlighted the struggles within Sweden over democratization and suffrage, themes common across Europe at the time. On May 31st, the Morale affair shook Spain when an assassination attempt on King Alfonso XIII and Queen Victoria Eugenie during their wedding procession resulted in the deaths of 24 bystanders. This act underscored the rising tensions from anarchist movements in Europe. In maritime history, the RMS Lusitania was launched on June 7th in Glasgow. At the time, it was the world's largest ship and would later play a pivotal role in World War I, whose sinking by a German U-boat in 1915 influenced the United States' decision to enter the war. June 26th witnessed the first-ever Grand Prix motor race in Le Mans, France. This event laid the foundation for modern auto racing, combining technological innovation with sporting competition. In July, international humanitarian efforts advanced with the Second Geneva Convention on July 6th, which expanded the protocols for the treatment of wounded and shipwrecked military personnel during war. A significant moment in justice occurred on July 12th, when Alfred Dreyfus was exonerated in France. His wrongful conviction on charges of treason had divided the nation for years, and his exoneration marked a victory against anti-Semitism and a step forward for civil rights in France. July 20th was a landmark day for democracy. Finland ratified a new electoral law, becoming the first country to grant both universal suffrage and the right for women to stand as candidates. Finnish women thus became the first in Europe to have these rights, setting a progressive example for other nations. The arms race continued as Germany launched its first submarine, U-1, on August 4th, marking Germany's entry into underwater naval warfare, a technology that would have significant implications in both world wars. Disaster struck again on August 16th with the Valparaiso earthquake in Chile. Measuring 8.2 in magnitude, it caused widespread destruction and left approximately 20,000 people injured, highlighting the vulnerability of urban areas to natural catastrophes. In the Caribbean, political instability led Cuban President Tomás Estrada Palma to request U.S. intervention on August 23rd. This resulted in the second occupation of Cuba, reflecting America's growing influence and the complexities of its foreign policy in Latin America. September 11th was a significant date in the history of non-violent resistance. In South Africa, Mahatma Gandhi coined the term satyagraha, defining his philosophy of non-violent protest. This concept would become instrumental in India's struggle for independence and inspire civil rights movements worldwide. Nature's fury was felt in Asia when a typhoon and tsunami hit Hong Kong on September 18th, killing an estimated 10,000 people. The disaster emphasized the need for better warning systems and disaster preparedness in vulnerable regions. Aviation history was made on October 23rd when Brazilian aviator Alberto Santos Dumont successfully flew his 14 bis aircraft in France. Covering a distance of 60 meters, it was the first officially recorded powered flight in Europe, advancing human flight achievements. Political progress continued as the Majlis of Iran convened for the first time on October 6th, following the constitutional revolution earlier that year. This assembly represented a move towards parliamentary governance in Iran. However, international tensions surfaced on October 11th when the San Francisco Public School Board decided to segregate Japanese students. This led to a diplomatic crisis between the United States and Japan, highlighting issues of racism and immigration that were prevalent at the time. In Germany, an unusual event occurred on October 16th when Wilhelm Voigt, a shoemaker, impersonated a Prussian officer and took over the city hall in Köpenick. Known as the Captain of Köpenick, his escapade exposed the blind obedience to authority within the German bureaucracy and became a famous tale of social commentary. As the year drew to a close, significant developments continued. The International Exhibition opened in Christchurch, New Zealand, on November 1st, showcasing advancements in industry and culture from around the world. On November 3rd, the distress signal SOS was adopted internationally. This simple yet effective code became a universal call for help, standardizing emergency communications for ships at sea. Tragedy struck the Pacific Northwest on November 18th, when the steamboat Dix sank near Seattle, claiming the lives of around 50 passengers and crew. The incident underscored the ongoing risks of maritime travel in the early 20th century. In Russia, Prime Minister Pyotr Stolypin introduced agrarian reforms on November 22nd. These reforms aimed to create a class of land-owning peasants, attempting to stabilize the countryside and strengthen the monarchy, but they also contributed to social changes leading up to the Russian Revolution. Academic history was made on December 4th, with the founding of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity at Cornell University in New York. It was the first Black Greek-lettered collegiate fraternity, fostering leadership and academic excellence among African American students during a time of widespread racial discrimination. The expansion of urban transportation took a leap on December 15th with the opening of the Great Northern, Piccadilly and Brompton Railway in London, part of today's Piccadilly Line on the London Underground. This development improved urban mobility and set the stage for modern subway systems. On December 24th, Canadian inventor Reginald Fessenden made the first radio broadcast from Brant Rock, Massachusetts, which included a poetry reading, a violin solo, and a speech. This groundbreaking event paved the way for modern radio and mass communication. Cinema history was created on December 26th with the premiere of The Story of the Kelly Gang in Melbourne, Australia. Regarded as the world's first feature-length film, it marked a significant milestone in the evolution of the film industry. Finally, on December 30th, the All India Muslim League was founded in Dhaka. This political party became a driving force behind the creation of Pakistan in 1947, playing a crucial role in the Indian subcontinent's struggle for independence from British rule. Beyond these events, 1906 was a year of scientific and cultural advancements. The BCG vaccine for tuberculosis was first developed, laying the groundwork for combating a disease that had plagued humanity for centuries. Seismologist Richard Oldham argued that the Earth has a molten interior, contributing significantly to our understanding of geology and the structure of our planet. In Africa, construction began on the modern-day Great Mosque of Djenné in Mali, a marvel of Sudano-Sahelian architecture and a UNESCO World Heritage Site today. The Simplot Pen Company was founded in Germany, which would later become known as Mont Blanc, synonymous with luxury writing instruments. As we reflect on 1906, we see a world grappling with rapid change. Technological innovations were reshaping daily life, political movements were challenging old regimes, and cultural milestones were being achieved. The events of this year not only defined that moment in history, but also set in motion forces that would shape the decades to come. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time. If you enjoyed this exploration of history, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more insightful retrospectives.
Já tudo dorme, vem a noite em meio à turva.